All right, now we're officially starting. Hey, I'm Kate Stillman. I've made a lot of money and changed a lot of lives in wellness, which makes it so that I can teach those of you who need either help on like the financial side or on the impact side or on the lead from lifestyle side. So for me, all three are very important. That wellness pros are in integrity with the lifestyle habits that they're advocating. And I think we're all of the persuasion that health is largely diet and lifestyle driven, and also mindset and community driven. So if we're inspired by people that are more well, we're more likely to do what they're doing, and also the mindset and the vibe that they're in wears off on us. And so what I found is that like the business model that involves all three of those factors, just like a three-legged stool, where you've got your wellness lifestyle, which again, diet, habits, mindset are part of your wellness lifestyle. That's connected to the other two legs, which are impact and income or revenue. Now, what I find largely, I've been working in this field for 25 years, is that usually wellness pros, they have great offerings and they keep pursuing modality trainings. So they invest very heavy in more and more advanced modality trainings. And I'm actually working with the certifying schools and their accompanying associations on helping wellness pros by actually changing what they're offering, because so many of those certification programs and associations keep offering more and more advanced modality training. Meanwhile, people are having a hard time making a living. So if you don't have clients, you can't do those advanced techniques and those advanced therapies. That requires investment. So on a number of levels, I'm working with how do we actually bring some change into this industry so that wellness pros can thrive financially, because if they're thriving financially, that usually means they're having an impact, because that means they're exchanging value in the marketplace. And if we can do that based on our own wellness integrity, then it's a win-win for our communities, whether those are local communities, online communities, or hybrid. So that's just my way of saying, like, hopefully you're in the right place. If all this is resonating, great. If it's not, like, you can bump off and I won't mind, because that's basically what we do. It's like your wellness, lifestyle, and integrity, impact, income. Good. Okay. So let me know in the chat, like, what is more urgent for you in 2026? Is it on income, impact, or wellness lifestyle? So some of you guys are like dialing in, like your wellness lifestyle is like set, you love it, you got it. Like you're eating great, you feel great, you're sleeping great, but the income side is lower. So just let me know. And some of you, it's the other way, where you're actually went full on into marketing, sales, and running a business, and your lifestyle is lagging behind. And it's okay, no matter where you are. Like I've been in all of the places, so I understand, and there's no judgment. I'm really just here to help. Okay, so scaling from individual to group work, more client flow, and open to group later down the line, group coaching, impact, income, and rep. Yeah, all of them. Okay, great. And I think we all got in here for the impact reason, right? I mean, maybe it started first with your own wellness. So it maybe started with your own wellness lifestyle, then it went to impact, and then ultimately at some point, income becomes more important. Okay, great. So that's what we'll focus on, is we'll focus on all that. And the reason it's important to look at your 2026 revenue right now is the choices you'll make right now will impact your revenue in January, February, March, April, May. So you can reverse engineer revenue growth. Right? Like that's kind of how it works, is like the things that you are doing right now are either like setting you up for more of the same in the future, or you're making changes right now that are setting you up for changes, including changes in revenue in the future. Does that all make sense? Yep. Yeah. Okay, cool. So many of you have seen this image from me in the past. It's something that it changed everything for me when I really understood this, and it's somewhat complex, so I'm going to walk us through it. What's most important is this up here, this transformation, is how do you guide the transformation? You should obsess over how you guide the transformation and exactly what transformation are you guiding. And we call that A to B. So a lot of you have access into my Wellness Pro Launchpad, and if you don't If you're not, yeah, I'm sure you're all in there because you registered for this, so we would have gotten you in there. In Launchpad, this walks you through like really how to get the transformation. So this is Launchpad, and we call this A to B mapping. I'm just going to drop this link right in the chat. So I'll speak like a mile a minute, and I'm going to just brain dump a bunch, and then we'll go into like some Q&A, and I'll draw some things out, and it'll be a little bit more relaxed. But I just want to show you that like this is here, this is free, this is for you to start to really get clear on what is the transformation you guide. So up here, what I want to show you is pricing goes to premium and market competition goes from undifferentiated to differentiated. The other thing that happens is the reason pricing goes to premium is because value increases. So you're able to exchange more value if you can guide a transformation. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. So most of you don't operate businesses that way. You operate your business transactionally. So people sign up for a thing, a consult, a class, a workshop, a retreat. And just let me know like who currently right now, and it's like, it's fairly transactional, meaning you don't really have a sales process and you're not selling high ticket and it's not a year-long membership or something that involves commitment. Yeah. Okay, cool. So everyone, almost everyone, I think everyone I've ever met starts there. So that's not bad. That's just services. That's just here. You're just in the middle. And so pricing isn't at premium. Your competitive position isn't as differentiated. Your value exchange is also not as differentiated, and you're only somewhat meeting the needs of your customers. Again, like most of us aren't trained in business, so I found this really helpful. It's like, okay, then I should obsess on how do I guide the transformation? And a transformation, is it going to take time? Like really think about it. It's going to take time, right? So we want to benefit based on time. So if we look at time, like for example, that one of the transformation that I guide in Club Thrive is people that have health issues. We try to get them to feel good. Pretty basic, right? Like from health issues to feeling good. And if they keep going on the path that they're going on, they're going to have poorer health just based on like they have all these negative stressors already in their life that are based on diet and lifestyle habits. And to some degree, mindset and people set habits, who they're hanging out with, what they think about, what they watch, what they think is not helping them. And so they're getting worse over time, right? They're accelerating their aging. So if we're going to guide the transformation, and again, simple transformation, like not feeling good to feeling good, pretty simple, but we have to package it. And that's really what we're going to focus on today is like, how do we get into a business model where we're guiding the transformation? It's highly customized. It's relevant to the needs of the customer. That's over on the right side. And it's differentiated. So no one else can do it the way you would do it. You are a snowflake in our world, and we don't want to franchise you. And then what we just need to do is like reverse engineer everything in how you're doing business so that it works within a business model that actually works for your lifestyle. Does that make anyone happy? You can emoji me. Show me how you feel about that. A business that works for your lifestyle, works for your revenue. Yeah, good. That's what it's really what it's all about. Okay. So, to some degree, we need to get into our customer's head or our future client's head. And again, like the transformation that we want to guide, like this is an empathy map. It's like, what are they feeling? What are they thinking? What are their pains? What are their gains? Who are we empathizing with? What do they need? What do they see? What do they say? What do they do? What do they hear? Like, and this is both at before the transformation, when they're here with critical issues, and here after they're through the transformation, after you've actually guided them to whatever your version of be or feel good actually is. So let's just take a moment and you can type it in the chat. Like, what is your A to B? And one of the ways to think about it is A is where clients start with you. Their pain points. I'm putting this in the chat. B is after they've worked with you for at least a year. What are their breakthroughs? And don't overthink it. Just type in the chat, like, what are their issues? What are their breakthroughs? Because then we know a bit about the A to B. For example, in my club Hero, I work with ambitious women. And this is like my inner circle group inside of Club Thrive. So Club Thrive, I work with a lot of different people. But in Club Hero, I work with ambitious women with multidimensional life goals. So their issues are they have too much opportunity. They're like, everyone wants a chunk of them. And they can get distracted from their own personal body goals, from their bigger financial goals, because so many things are actually working in their life, right? They're ambitious, they're successful. So then what is B is they actually have prioritized their body. They've prioritized their own personal bigger goals, whether those are financial or relational or work-wise, and they've had a number of breakthroughs in their people set. They've also solved a pain point around being with a circle that they've outgrown, a social circle that they've outgrown, right? And now they're with a social circle of people who are actually like helping them achieve bigger goals. So it's specific. I know what it is. It doesn't work for everyone. If someone is not a successful woman, it's not going to work for them. They're not invited in, right? And so it'll turn away. It's, you see, in terms of that differentiation, if you start to really think about your club, your guided transformation, that's the simpler version of this. It's increasingly customized and differentiated in order to unlock premium value and premium pricing. Pricing goes higher to premium. Cool, huh? So you don't have to work for everybody. In fact, you can really, what we find in Wellness Pro Academy is most of our members only work with 15 to 30 people a year. And so what does that break down monthly in terms of enrolling and selling, like into a premium membership? Is they only need to enroll 3 people a month in order to have 36 members a year. Now, most people don't even do that. Most people are actually more like 20. So they need to enroll like 1.6 people a month in order to have impact, income, and wellness lifestyle. It's that differentiated and premium pricing. Now, go back to your A to B. What's the value? Like, what is the value to the person who's at A to get to B? Like, how would they, you know, when you like buy a car, there's a value to getting this type of car versus that type of car, new versus used, right? So for the type of person that you want to work with, that's actually at A, who you've worked with in the past, for them to get to B, how does it change their life? And what's the value of that transformation? So type that in the chat, just think out loud with me, and just even exercising your brain this way, getting your brain to start to think this way is when you shift from transactional into transformational in your business model. So for Naomi, we have out of rhythm to resonance. So what is resonance? Like, what is the value of being in resonance? And one of the ways to look at this is where does it's either going to save them time, money, energy, heartache, but it could also unlock opportunity. So for me, with women with sacred ambition, I'm not trying to save them any money. I'm trying to help them take bigger opportunities on. Right? So it's like, that's what it is for them. It's like, wow, you might be missing some of the like the largest opportunities just because like you're juggling too many things. You don't have a strategy to focus. You don't have a growth group around you. You don't have a coach that, actually understands your strengths and weaknesses, right? Like, so your growth opportunity could be worth, for a lot of women in Club Hero, they can get a raise each year. That's like 10, 15, 20, $30,000 annually. So that's their opportunity cost. Right? So then what is it worth to them? Well, it's at least worth that. So it's a very different way of thinking than just like, you know, you're helping someone with acne, or you're helping someone find their voice, or you're helping someone overcome an autoimmune issue, or you're helping someone decrease their medication. Like, you really need to think, if you want to launch something that's amazing in January to make more money in 2026, it's like, you got to start thinking like, what's the transformation that will unlock premium value to a very specific group of people, and then reverse everything from that. Okay, so let's get some prices. What is it? What's the number? What is the value of the transformation actually monetarily worth? And a lot of you, this will make very uncomfortable, and you'll say it's priceless, or I can't really put a number on it. And your clients will say the same thing. But we have to put a number on it because you have to sell them. Okay, good. Kelly, $7,500 a year. Thank you. Right? Yeah, like, what's it worth? What's it worth? Let's see a few other numbers. Like, what is the value of the transformation that you could guide? What would that be worth to somebody? We're just getting big, broad. You can't be wrong. You can just design for what you want too. Good. Gwendolyn, 8 to 10K. Awesome. I'd love to see everyone just put a number in there. Like, put a number in just to have something to edit later. I'm a huge fan of like, just throw it down so that you have something to push against. Like my daughter with her college essay, I'm like, I just need a rough draft. Like, we just need an idea to work with, because then when we have it, we're going to like certain things and we're not going to like other things. And then that'll give us a sense. Okay, great. So a lot of you guys are, yeah, between 5K and I love Darlene's 200K. Great. Shoot for big. Yeah. And people transact and high-end mastermind groups for $200,000 a year. So just because you aren't doing it doesn't mean it's not happening. Yeah. So it's like, for the targeted client, there's very, very high value in the transformation. Now, just how many people do you want to really commit to a year? Just put that number in the chat. How many people do you want to work with a year? Where you could commit, where you could be fully committed to guiding that transformation. Okay, great. So this is what I love, is you guys are mature enough to have like a reasonable number. Because a lot of people want to save the world and they'll say like 100,000, but the problem is it's really hard to do that. So we want to start with something that's finite. Okay, so most of you are under, yeah, you're all under 30. Yeah, so, but don't go by the week, Rich. Think of like in terms of a year, because they have to be committed and you have to be committed. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be one-on-one. I don't do one-on-one with anyone. You can. We call that VIP, like a VIP package within a club. Okay. So you've done some good broad strokes in terms of like, you know a bit about the transformation, you know a bit about the value, and you know a bit about how many people you could guide on that transformation a year and feel good, like be in your wellness lifestyle, make your revenue number. So you're just going to take your, what's the value worth times the number of people you want to work with, and that would be your revenue. So if you want to make more revenue, you'd either increase how much you would charge to guide the transformation or the number of people you'd work with. Just rough sketch, right? Just very, very obvious. All right. Now, the third thing we're doing, now that we have actually the fourth, because we've already done those three. Yeah. And Dar, the goal for all in the platform is to have thousands being helped. Like, yeah, you can help thousands. Like, I saw like 200 people watched a YouTube short we posted yesterday, right? Like, you can help thousands for free. But how many people can you guide the transformation where you're both in a committed relationship? Like, you're committed, they're committed, no one's dropping in and dropping out. But like, that's the number that you want to just get super clear on, is like, how many is my number to guide the transformation? Okay, now the next question is, what would they have to do? Like, what would they have to change? What would they have to learn to go from A to B? So I'll repeat that and you just start writing, and then we'll have a brief talk about it. What will they need to do to change, to learn, to experience, to be coached on, to get from A to B? And this is what you should obsess on. We call it guiding the journey, guiding the transformation. So when you, as a wellness business owner, which a lot of healers wake up one day and they realize that the wellness industry is largely self-employed. There's very few wellness jobs, well-paid wellness jobs out there. So you have to run your own company, like you have to run your own business. And at some point you get really clear that you need a very clear deliverable. And that's what we're working on, is how do you deliver the transformation? What do they need to do? So for me, with my Club Hero members, like they need to learn strategy. They need to learn very specific strategic thinking processes. Now, if I'm going to maximize their time in a techie AI world, they also need primal habits. That's just what I've landed on. That's my unique methodology. You all have your own unique methodologies. And if you need to borrow from other people, that's great. Everything's free on YouTube. So you can take from anybody, right? And say like, we also do this. Like we also do human garage lower body fascia reset. We do Selena Garofino's 10-minute Ketona yoga pranayama. Like that's also part of our core competencies in Club Hero. I don't need to teach it, right? But I need my members to do it in order to unlock, right, higher level thinking, an oxygenated brain, etc. So what are the habits they need to change? So go ahead and just like keep writing this stuff down. Like what do they need to do? Because this is what you'll structure your club around. What do they need to do? What do they need to do together? What's easier to do together? For example, in Club Thrive and Club Hero, we do detoxes together. We do gut health resets together. We do fast mimicking diet together. Anything that's hard to do alone, we do together. It's much harder to fast on your own. It's so much easier to do it together. So what are the hard things that people are going to need to do to get to B that you can help them do together? Yeah, some of, and some of your clients, like they literally need to learn how to cook, like they need to make food at home for themselves. So you want to think of these mundane things as well. It's like, how do you teach them what they're really going to need to heal, to thrive, to be spiritually awakened, if that's part of what you do on your A to B. Maybe some of them are night owls and they need to get sleep. Maybe they're highly caffeinated. Maybe they're addicted. What are they addicted to? Is it distraction? Is it shopping? Is it media? Yeah. Drama. Yeah, exactly, Gwendolyn. Yeah. Okay. Good. So I'll go to my pad now. So what we're, in many ways, where we're at is we're understanding where our future clients, our prospects, our future, what we call in Wellness Pro Academy, our future members, like where they're actually starting. So we can have this both at A and at B. So where are they before the transformation? What are they thinking and feeling? What are they seeing and hearing? What are they saying? What are they doing? What is their pain? And also, what are their recent gains? Because some of them will have just made recent gains. Like some of them will have just decided that they're going to invest in themselves. They're having a mindset shift. That's a gain. Like for me with Club Hero, like some of them just got a raise when they find me and they're like, wow, I'm really ready to invest in myself. Right. And I'm frustrated with carrying an extra 30 pounds. So that would be a pain, but the other side would be a gain. So go ahead and like get really clear, like empathize with who is this for? Who is this transformation for? What are their pain points? And maybe what they're hearing, some of it might be positive, some of it might be negative. Like some of them might be hearing horror stories, like they have an autoimmune disease and they're just hearing horror stories of that they're going to be on pharmaceuticals forever and there's nothing they can do. And they might be hearing that. But then they might also be hearing there's alternatives. So what is this for your prospect? And they might be seeing so many things. They might be seeing 100 supplements on the shelf at Whole Foods and not knowing which ones to buy. They might be like watching like 20 short reels in their YouTube feed and have no idea what to do because there's just information overload. So they might be feeling that their doctor doesn't really have time to listen to them. So the more clear you are on this, the more clear you can be on the transformation you can guide. And then this all serves basically as not just marketing, but as part of your sales process downstream. Then at B, like this is, you just do it again and say like, well, maybe in here, if you have a club model, so let me just draw out what we teach in Wellness Pro Academy. It's the only way I teach business is the club model. So the club means that you bring people into a club and the club has a culture. And that this culture is a large degree based on your vibe. Like for me, I'm innovative, I'm futuristic, I'm profit motived, I'm impact motived, I'm ancient, and I'm futuristic. Like that's all my vibe. So that's what my club is going to feel like. Right. So like in Wellness Pro Academy, we're building AI agents like crazy right now to accelerate wellness pros, their process to making real revenue. So we're just like, how do we make it faster for them? So because I'm innovative, because I live in an AI world, we're going to use technology to get our wellness pros there faster right now. So that wellness pros who want to launch in January will be able to make a lot more money in January. Right. But what's the vibe at your club? Right. And then within the club having a culture, there's also a curriculum. So this is like, what do they need to know? And if it's anything you can teach them, it doesn't need to be synchronistic. So right now I'm teaching you, right? What we really should be doing is like workshopping and me getting to know more about what you guys are doing. And we'll do that in a minute. But in general, curriculum is things that you can just learn, right? That you don't need to learn in real time or live with me or live with you. So a club has culture, it has curriculum, it has coaching. And coaching is so much of where the people meet each other, where people grow together. So if we look at positive stressor habits, again, your people are starting, oops, we'll draw it like this. Your future members are starting at A, right? And this is where they have pain. They're going to B, this is where they have gain or breakthroughs. And you have a good idea of what those are. We know we have 1 year because we're doing this based on a club model, which is annual membership. Just think of a golf club. It runs on annual membership, not monthly. Not monthly. Why not? Why does monthly not work for wellness pros? Why doesn't it work for you? Why doesn't it work for your clients? And type it in the chat or unmute. Yeah, commitment. That's right. They can't go through the lows and highs. Yeah, because it never looks like this. It looks like this, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Like, just think about it. You have a breakthrough. Like people do a detox. They're awesome, right? Like, I can do this forever. And then like, oh shoot, like little Johnny broke his leg and now I've got to like drive him everywhere again because he can't drive himself. And now I got to like, you know, it's like all of a sudden it's like, wait, and all of a sudden I'm at a low. But then like, oh, but I know what to do because the group's doing it and I got coaching and I got lifted and I'm back on the saddle. So if you're operating transactionally or you're teaching courses or retreats, right? There's not a container. And so what we want is not just this to go from A to B, but it really looks like A to B to C to D, because we're going to have a recurring revenue model. This is why this is the only type of business I will run. It's the only type of business I will coach. And it doesn't matter. I mean, right now I'm doing it with both, you know, associations, educational institutions, tech industry, like it just works across the board. Because if you have recurring revenue after a year, they're like, great, now I have new competencies. And I've actually bonded within the club. So I have a better, what we call a people set. And my people are in the club. And so now I want to go around again. And now I want to go around again. So for most of you, you actually want to design for a 3-year journey. It can have multiple curriculums, right? Like, so in Club Hero, they can earn different badges. They can earn badges on purpose and on strategy and on leadership. In Club Thrive, they can earn a badge on healing and on their sacred space, these things that are like very basic skill sets that we need our Club Thrive members on. So when you're thinking about it, it's just really wrapping your mind around like, this is what is called a recurring revenue model or an RR. And then when you build it on the annual commitment, so that you don't have churn, because like the worst thing is if like you have a new member and then they bond to 2 other members and then one leaves after a month or 2, like it just makes it challenging for anyone to bond in the community or have commitment. And because it's easier to do hard things together, we need bonding and commitment to do the harder things that are just like honestly radically impossible for you to do one-on-one with your clients. You just will not get the same client results. And a lot of you are in denial of that, right? And I'll go to bat with you on that for as long as it takes because I have the proof. So does everyone get that you want to go on an annual recurring revenue model and that this would actually benefit the people who are at A to actually getting to D, and D is beyond their wildest dreams. So they can't even conceive of that at A. And they don't have to, because they just really are trying to get to B. But you can build to know that it just gets better. And that way you have less churn. You need fewer clients every year. You need to do less marketing. Sales is easier on renewals. But if it's monthly, you're going to have churn, and churn will turn you into a digital marketer full time. It just doesn't work. Okay, let's pause and go into questions and what's coming up. Who's kind of rethinking how they're running their business? Love the kitten. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. People don't commit. Yeah. No, that's not true. It's you don't have a structure and a sales process for people to commit. My people are all committed. I don't have a commitment problem. So this is the issue, you guys, too, is like some of you are thinking like, this won't work for me. You're right. It won't unless you work the model. It won't work for you. But those same prospects will go to another wellness pro who's dialed it in, that same prospect will be upsold by someone who has a better system than you. Right? So it's not a question of like, will it work for me? It's, will you work a business model that works? That's just proven industry wide. Yeah. People can pay. No, it doesn't matter. They're committing to the year, Michelle. It doesn't matter if they pay all at once or if they pay in a monthly payment plan. So for example, in Wellness Pro Academy, the way it's structured, it's pretty simple. Most of you in your pricing, when you looked at like, what is the value of being at B? There's a value, right? And there's a true cost of being at A. Some of them are wasting money. Some of them are wasting opportunity. Some of them have like a window where if they don't make changes right now, like I'm working with a lot of wellness pros right now who are between 45 and 58. And if they don't change like right now, like it's done. Like, it's just like the industry is moving too fast. They're getting eclipsed. They're just going to stay in transactional. The longer they stay in transactional, it gets harder to learn new things as you get older. It gets harder for their clientele to make the switch to being more invested. So there's just truly an opportunity cost to where they are like right now. And so then they need to learn, how do I actually invest? How do I invest in the value of B? And that's what the job of sales and marketing is. Okay, so let's say the value of this, a lot of you guys said that you were somewhere, I think between 5K and 200K. So we'll just take the average of that. We'll say like, say the value of being at B is worth 7,500, right? And so if we take that and then we add, like what I often do, so 7,500 divided by 12, this would be the monthly payment plan. That would be 625, but then I want to benefit them from paying it all at once. So I actually want to take that 7,500 and say, well, if they were to add 2 of those months on, then it would be more expensive, right? So then that would basically be 625 payment a month or plus 1250 to add to benefit the people that will pay all at once, because it's better for you, it's better for your business, because then you have more money to invest back into your business. So then that would be 8750 divided by 12 would be, or 729 a month for 12 months. You guys follow that? You follow the logic? They're just going to not have to pay 2 months if they pay it all at once. So it's just a nice, like, they're all in, you're all in, guide the transformation and move on. Okay, some of you are priced lower than this. Like some of you, it'll be hard for you to sell at 3,500. And we do have people in Wellness Pro Academy who start at that price point. So I'm just going to do the same equation. That would be 3,500. I'm going to first divide it by 12 and find out it's about, we'll just round it up to 300 a month roughly. So now I'm going to take that 3,500. I'm going to add 600 for the 2 months. And then I'm going to divide that by 12. So 4,100 divided by 12. That would be roughly 350 a month. I'm just rounding up. Okay, you guys following on that? Yeah. So the way that it works in Wellness Pro Academy is like everything's priced on results. So this is all about like you getting your club up and running, getting into recurring revenue model. What exactly is this club for, right? What is the A to B? Mapping it out. What's in the offer? How does it work? How is the club structured? How's the coaching structured? What's your curriculum? What's your culture? What's your sales process? Like all of that. So we want our members in Wellness Pro Academy to get their clubs up and running in 90 days with their first 5 members. So it's like, let's go, right? Let's make 5 of these sales, whether they're on the monthly or the annual. And then the way we do it is it's like our club price is earn while you learn. So if you're selling 1 club membership a month, that should more than pay for what you pay to be in Wellness Pro Academy. So the way we structure it is it's 12,800 for the year or monthly of 1,250. And most wellness pros are like, I don't have that kind of money. And it's like, great, stay in transactional. It's all opportunity cost for you. It's all opportunity cost, because a bunch of people will do it and then they will make the money. And it does take some learning to get the sales and the marketing and the systems and the curriculum and the club and the coaching up. Just like for a lot of your prospects, they're going to say, well, I don't have the money. It doesn't matter if it's $350 a month or $729 a month. But really, they don't understand what it's costing them. And that's the job of your sales and marketing, is to help them understand what it's costing them, help them understand what people who've actually gotten to be have invested, and how that has a return on invested meant so much that they invest again. Does that make sense? Yeah. Does anyone have any light bulbs going off? You guys just unmute, just talk to me. I promise it's easy. I know I'm intimidating and scary, but it helps. Talk it through. What's coming up? Rich.
Okay, it's actually kind of in my head, this is kind of the way I wanted to work. I just didn't know how to structure it. I prefer it this way because with my experience, when I help clients, I mean, example, on Sundays, I explain about remedies and essential oils from being a holistic therapist. I'd like to kind of act with the coaching, hypnotherapy, all that stuff, because it is a lifestyle thing for me. And at the moment, I feel just doing the hypnotherapy. Yes, you've got this issue. It's a bit reductive. I'm finding it a little bit boring. Got to be honest. Sorry for this. So I just kind of wanted to find something what worked for me using all my skills, and then I feel that I'm using it. Also, then I'm enjoying it more, because otherwise I'm feeling a bit. You know, like
the other thing that'll happen is the club takes over. Like seriously, like the club starts to drive its next innovation. So it's not just A, B to C to D. Like I've been doing this for a very long time. So for example, like my first real club was in 2007. It was Living Ayurveda, and they paid $1,000. This is $2007, which, you know, inflation, all that. Plus people were afraid to use their credit card on the internet in 2007. People were afraid to give their credit card over the phone in 2007. But we had 20 people at $2,007, $1,000, $20,000. Like immediately I went from like $200 an hour to 20,000. Like, everyone's committed. So everyone did that. And then what did they want to do at the end of it? They wanted to do it again. Right? So then like new people came in and we did it again. And then it became something else, because as people healed, they started to awaken to purpose. They started to have bigger goals besides their health. So then I started to teach Dharma. And that's why with Club Hero, it's like, it's very much multidimensional life goals. It's much like not just health. Like health is ground zero, right? Then it's like, where do we go with strategy? And so that's what will naturally happen, Rich. And you'll be pulled into skill sets as your community evolves.
Yeah, which is what I would prefer, because a lot of stuff, what I'm saying about the social media earlier in the text, is that I feel I'm giving so much information away, and it's quite draining. I'll be honest with you, I'm getting drained with it, because it feels like I'm giving all this stuff away, but it's like there's no attachment to it. Whereas I feel if I'm doing it more with people, I'd find out what everybody's issues are. So say it's everybody's got an issue with sleep, that's what I would then say, right, this is the pattern you can do to help you sleep. These are the things you can do, things like that. That's to me how I do. But let everybody else talk, not just let me talk.
Well, but that's just it, right? And that's like part of the problem is it's like information does not equal transformation, and information isn't actually what people want. Like the way that we look at it, and I just love in the chat, Michelle said, oh my goodness, I was in Living Ayurveda in 2008. Yay. See, that's the power of recurring revenue in community. I can show you guys in my school, like in my club, the people who have just like come back. Like recurring revenue, it's real, like year over year. So I have a lot of like lifetime customer values of like 20,000 to 50,000, because the recurring revenue model, it works like year over year. Even if people take a break, you have a container and they come back. And what I hear about the people who come back is they're like, well, I was healthiest when I was in your club. And then they have context of what it's like to like back out and then come back and then to come back in. Okay. So if you look at the structure, if we go back to here of like what will actually help people on this here to here to here to here, like where are they going to fall off? Where are they going to want to back out? And then if we put this on like an annual model, that's going to make it too messy. But there's some ways of looking at your structure of saying, well, what would they do? So say this is 1 year. We're going to go on a calendar that's like drawn like, here's the sun and here's Earth. And we're going around the sun. And what needs to happen in certain junctures? What does your group need to do at certain times of year? And some of you will have hybrid where it'll be online and then there'll be meetups. So for example, in my clubs, people can come in March. We'll say this is equinox. So people can come in March to my place in Mexico. And they can come in July to my place in Alta. And we can do member events. Right. And then we can do online detoxes. Like we're going to do something around the second week of January. We're going to do a detox here. We're going to do another detox after Mexico. We do a lot of detox. We do a lot of resets. This will actually not be a detox. This will just be a reset in January. So you can just start to structure just based on how a year works of like, what will your people need to do when, and then which things need to be in person and what can be done online, what can be done in a classroom, in a curriculum, or in like earning a badge. And this just helps give you some structure to like, how are you actually going to get people from A to B? And part of this is looking at like, what do they need to become competent in? Do they need to be competent in cooking? Do they need to be competent in, for me, like with Club Hero, in using strategy to reach goals? Do they need new competencies in communication and relationships? Do they need competencies in circadian rhythm habits? Or in Club Thrive, we do primal habits. So primal habits are like cryotherapy, fasting, microbiome diet. Those are things that I'm just like, if you're with me, you have to be competent in these things, or I can't get you to be. So we're going to help you become competent no matter where you're starting from. And it's remarkable. We have a group in Club Thrive that does fast mimicking diet every month. And it's people with stubborn weight gain. And so I am not afraid to take people that are, I mean, one woman I just took into the club, she's 80 pounds overweight. She gained it in 3 years. She was like an exercise addict that had like a relapse, like just all the issues hit her right around menopause, you know? So I'm like, great, come in. I know I can get you to be. I know exactly how to do it. I've structured for that. And if those of you who are nervous about doing it, like, don't worry. You just actually need to have enough of a good idea of what to do. And then we'll coach you through it. So for those of you who are looking at your own A to B, so for Wellness Pros, what's your A to B in terms of revenue? So let's imagine it's the end of 2026. All right, what's here? Like, where did you get? What's the gain? What's the breakthrough? How much are you earning here versus how much did you earn in 2024 or 2025? Just go ahead and like write that down. And it might not be beyond your wildest dreams. Like that might take more. Where's my A to B to C to D? This, like beyond your wildest dreams, could take a couple of years. But let's just make sure we're building with the right structures, the right technology, with the right sales process, with the right business model that'll actually get to D efficiently. Okay, does everybody have what their A to B is in terms of money written down? Yeah. Okay, great. Now, what needs to change in the business model? So most of you here are at transactional. And over here, I would hope that after what we've done in the last 45 minutes, that this would be transformational. Sorry, my pencil's acting funny. And then over here, what's the average dollar per transaction? So for example, if you have like a $200 consult, great. Over here would then be whatever the club membership is. So this is revenue, total revenue for the year. But then how much is your transformational club price? So if it's $200 per session over here it might be 5,500 for the year membership. Got it? So then the question is, what's the value? Like, what is the value? Because if you don't know the value, then you can't reverse engineer or invest. Does that make sense? Like, it's very easy for me to invest in my company because I know the value and I know my forecasting and I know my numbers. So it's really easy for me to be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what my company's going to need next. That's what my club members are going to need next. That's going to be a really good investment because I know that stuff. But that's all we're doing right here is you guys are just getting a baseline so that you can make good investment decisions. Because if you can't do this for yourself in your business, you can't help your clients do it. And what you'll hear is you'll hear for your club, you'll hear things like, I don't have the time or I don't have the money. But really they don't understand the value in the investment. Who's tracking with me? I know it's a very different way of thinking. Because then what happens with sales and marketing is it becomes so much about the value of B, what A is costing them, and what people who get to B have invested. It's not how do I solve your sleep problems? Because you can't solve that in a social media post. So you stop like trying to solve that in a social media post or in an email. Yeah. So who wants to talk about, I mean, basically this then becomes your growth opportunity. Right. So what is your growth opportunity? And then if you know the value of your growth opportunity, then you can invest in it. There's always an advantage to getting to your growth opportunity faster. And that's where like trying to figure it out on your own, usually what happens is people get stuck. They get lost. They come up with their offer. It makes sense. And they can't sell it. They sell it and they can't get the leads for it, enough leads to actually make it worthwhile. So those are all very typical stumbling blocks. Just like for your clients who are like, just think about it for your clients. They're trying to get to A to B, right? To their gain and breakthrough. And they're trying to figure it out on themselves. They're piecemealing it together, aren't they? They're buying the supplement. They're going for this consultation. They're getting this blood work done. They're going to this gym, right? They're like piecemealing together how to get to B. And no one's really guiding the journey and they're not invested in the journey. So just in the same way for wellness pros, like we do the same thing. It's like, oh, I can figure it out, but you can't. Like you'll get stuck. You'll get stuck either in the offer, the sales, the leads. Usually you won't get stuck in the coaching of the systems once you've made it through that, but those are things that we can still make better and faster. Yeah. All right. So well, let me just share with you. I'll just go into, for those of you who haven't been through Launchpad, what you can do. Let me just go into screen share. If you want to launch in January, this is Launchpad. You all have free access into this Launchpad, and you should be getting emails that kind of walk you through. So you're the hero. We start with you and your journey. The workbook helps. You can schedule a Launchpad session with me. If you're serious about like doing this with us, then schedule with me and we'll map out. We'll really figure out what is your growth opportunity. Figure out the A to B, like what you're really here to do in guiding transformation, who you are, your vibe, your brand, your investment story, like how much you've already invested to get not just from A to B on the wellness journey, but from A to B to C to D. And that'll help you understand how your clients, your future clients, they don't know how to invest like you've invested. And that is the job of marketing and sales, is to show them how people invest and show them how you've invested in order to feel how you feel. Okay, then you're designing your hero's journey. This is like how you're actually going to get them there, and then how to price. So you guys all have free access into this. For those of you who are like, what happens in Wellness Pro Academy? I already went through the whole price point. There's a lot of curriculums in here, but the main curriculum is people are in the business system and they're just learning how to do. There's core competencies, your offer, your assets, sales, leads, coaching, and systems. It's as easy as I can make it for you to be able to income, impact, wellness lifestyle. So everything's just distilled into that. So this is the classroom, right? This is where the lessons are, like what you do with your people, hybrid, VIP, your club, your zone of genius, who it is you're working with, right? We just break it down into steps. And then there's live coaching in group and also one-on-one coaching. So tomorrow for our members, like they're doing free talks. This is one of the ways they get leads. Some of these are low dollar paid workshops, but in general, it's like, how do people find out about them? And this has everything to do with that empathy map that you guys just started. And that's basically how it works. So if I look at a calendar, let's just go into a calendar. We'll go to the month view. There's the month. So before we know it, it's going to be a few months from now. So I know people will be listening to this replay and the dates won't really work exactly, but what I do is I just go 90 days forward of like, when do you want real revenue by? When do you want your first members by? Now, the reason I did this workshop right now is because like January and October are the easiest months to enroll people. So if you want to make more money in 2026 and you miss out on January, you're so far behind. It's like if you're starting in January and you're enrolling in April, it's harder. It's just hard. It's hard to like get started then. But people in January and February and early March, they're actually looking to invest in themselves. It's easier. It's harder to get to do club sales in December. It's not impossible. I do really well, right? But I've been doing this for a long time. For a lot of people, they're like, I'm distracted. It's the holidays. I'm spending money on other people. I'm spending money on family, etc. In January, by like mid-January, they're like, it's about me, right? I want to help myself. So there's these natural times to leverage. And before you know it, January will be there. So then how do you reverse engineer so that you're set up to go? And that's what we'll help you do. And we'll just do it very much step by step, where the first thing we start with is your offer. Exactly how do you guide the transformation? How are you going to do it? How do we get you rock solid in what you're going to be selling? Because once we have a good idea of that, then you have assets that make it easier to enroll. This is going to take us a couple of months, right? Like just to get this going so that in September, and maybe for some of you, even like starting to make a sale or two in December, that you'll be up and running. Then we have a very specific sales process, very specific leads process, so that you don't have to become a digital marketer like full-time at all. And it can be really fast now with AI to get enough leads to make your couple of sales a month. Some of the coaching that we've had to add based on our experience is a lot of sales practice. So we've broken sales into three-part sessions and three competencies within sales. So we just keep breaking it down and drilling it down until like you get it. until you're good. Because the worst thing is when you're practicing with prospects and there's people that like they would invest with someone who's better in the sales process. Even though you have a great club, they'll never know because they're never going to make it through your sales. And that's really what we've learned over time. It's like how to make the hardest things a little bit easier so that you can move through pretty quickly. So I have time to stay on if anyone wants to chat. It's been an hour. You guys all have access to Launchpad. You know how to move further. So any of you who are like 2026, like I'm going to actually make more money, get on my calendar. We'll discuss your growth opportunity. If you're not qualified, I'll let you know because I don't work with people that are not qualified. It's a pain in my ass. It's a pain for my team. It hurts our member results. Not interested. So I can then refer you just, to like some of the basic skills that you'll need next or where to start. And that's great. I generally work with people who already have 10,000 hours under their belt of like, they're already competent. They already know, they've already seen transformational results in their clients. Their business just isn't structured to really work for their wellness lifestyle, their impact and their profit. Yeah. And yes, I'll send, if there's anyone else, if you guys have friends or colleagues that are like, they need to see this, then you guys will get the replay in email. I'll probably put it on YouTube as well. But yeah, I'm totally open. If anyone wants to ask questions or comment or whatnot, yeah, please, I've got time. And you're welcome, you guys. Okay, Gwendolyn, you want to talk marketing leads and funnels?
Yeah, well, I do. I have that question, but the other question too that I have, and I think it's just like an overall wellness world. It seems to me that like yours is pretty differentiated in the demographic that can pay and afford this. I mean, is that where you just cut it, one way or another? There's people that live hand to mouth that are just not able to afford, taking care of themselves. That's a different model in a different place, right? But in the wellness world, is that what you've learned like over the course, is that you have to start with a base that can put time, effort, and money into that? Am I making myself clear?
Yeah. But it's so nuanced. It's like, yes, and like people's opportunity is costing them so much. So much of that is in mindset. Most people can access resources.
And if
So
you
they might
can
not
share
have
and
their,
show that that's valuable, is that the value that you're talking about putting into the offering? Like, there's people, like you said, all the time, if you want
let's just make it real. Like, let's just make it real. Who is a perfect fit for you to guide a transformation? For 20 people, like customized, like high value transformation. It's cool to see you here, Sun Otter. Like for you, Sun Otter, it's probably leaders. It's not people who don't have their shit together. It's probably who are already leading and they want a highly nuanced, they want a people set of people who can speak an earth-based language, who can intuit, who can work together and who have real community impact.
Yes.
Goals.
Absolutely.
It's not someone who's like indigent and like can't, differentiate at the grocery store what's food and what's not food.
Oh, absolutely.
And so that's really where we start in Wellness Pro Academy, is like, who are you like at your edge here to guide?
Yeah.
And then yes, Gwendolyn, that'll filter out 99.99999% of people, because you can really only work with 30 people a year.
Oh.
And then you can give away for free. Like, this is free. Anyone can come to this. My YouTube channel is free. My 2 podcasts a week are free. Half of my books on Amazon are free. Like, I can do free all day. I've been doing free since 2001, and that's awesome. But if I'm going to be in a contract with you, right? Like, I'm going to lay myself down so you can get to the other side, because I'm already on the other side. Right? That's what we're talking about. So for everyone here, you really want to think of like, where were you 3 stages ago? And then that's the person you want to target. And what would you do differently than the way that maybe your mentors, your leaders, your teachers designed the journey? So for example, my Living Ayurveda course in 2007 was like, it was a revolt. It was a rebellion. It was the prana rebellion. It's basically what I called it behind the scenes. It was the prana, it was the life force rebellion against this hyper structured way of learning Ayurvedic medicine. And I was like, this is the people's medicine. This is free. To learn it, you have to invest, right? But to awaken your potential within, like once you've got that, like all the tools are free, right? And I rebelled against this very structured way because I found a faster, easier, better way to help people get healthy with Ayurveda quickly, right? And that's what I structured, was just that. And so for many of you, when you go 3 steps ago, what did you really need? Who did you really want to be around? Who also did you not need anymore? Like, who did you not need to be around? What information was just a waste of your time? And that's what you're structuring that offer around. Does that help, Gwendolyn, to like target in to like, yeah, it's not for everyone.
Right. It's trying to find that, like you said, that base that aligns with your offer, and clarifying that is important.
Yeah. So who is that for you?
Mhm.
Like, where is their pain? Where is their pain so great? So for me with Wellness Pros, like the pain of transactional becomes so great that they're like, fuck it, I'm in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't keep running my business this way. It's not worth it. Right. So it's like, I know the pain. It's like, it's so great at that point. And usually people are at least 10 years into transactional. Some of them are 20. Right.
Wow.
For my women with sacred ambition, like they're so tired of like we call it the wine and wine, like WINE plus WHINE. They're tired of the wine and wine. Like they're tired of this very limited friend set, and they've got much bigger goals, and they don't have structure. They don't have strategy. They literally don't know strategy. And unless you've been taught strategy, you don't know strategy. It's thinking structures. It's very specific. It's a skill set, you know? And so for them to learn strategy, all of a sudden they start having all these breakthroughs. But do they want to be friends with people that don't know strategy? No, they don't have time for that. They don't have time to educate their friends on it. But in my club, all of their new friends know strategy. So they can just like choose a friend and be like, hey, I need to run a SWAT. Can you help me for 10 minutes? And they know in 10 minutes together, they can have a remarkable breakthrough that changes their thinking, that changes their next actions. And now they're like on to the next thing. So that's where I go, Gwendolyn, is like, who's the opportunity worth? And then it's not necessarily a base. It's more of like, it can be more like spearfishing in a way than like net fishing. Where someone hears you and they're just like that, you know, like I want to, and then it's FOMO, you know, like you're just like, wait, other wellness pros are going to get ahead much more rapidly using a membership model, learning sales, using AI agents to like really clarify their digital presence into something that someone instantly resonates with, that's the right fit, and then goes into a funnel, into a sales structure where they actually can transact with you, get that equal sign going, right? And then you can guide them and do the best work of your life. Like that's how it should go. And then the people that are just swimming around your ecosystem, there are just multiple opportunities for them to, like, this is an opportunity for people I've met in the past to re-engage with me right now, hear the same damn message again, right? Because it's like, the truth is the truth. Right? Just like for you all, in what you're teaching and the core competencies that you're teaching, those are not going to change over time. People just get better at them and unlock different powers in those core competencies. And that's how it works on recurring revenue. So for example, back to Club Hero, once people know the structures, great, right? The competency isn't just learning the structures, it's using them with the next biggest opportunity. So as they get more skilled, the community becomes more valuable, right? As the community evolves with those core competencies, there's more value to a new member coming in because the whole community is more advanced. So for example, in Wellness Pro Academy, the people who've been learning sales for the last 6 months with me are more valuable to you coming in new. because they know the ropes. They've already lost prospects due to their own sales incompetencies. They've already had rejections and objections. They've already had acceptances and new club members. So they're more valuable to you than if everyone's starting at the same place. Kelly's question around AI agents. Right now we're using MindPal to build. So I do recommend, if you're using it with clients, I love MindPal right now. I know this world's changing quickly, so I would have had a different answer 2 weeks ago, and I'm really aware of that. But within MindPal, you can access all of the learning management models. So all the other LMMs, Grok, Perplexity, Claude, Chat, Gemini, but you can build workflows around it. So that's what we'll be teaching more in Wellness Pro Academy, helping people create a really cool lead funnel with an AI agent. Yeah. But honestly, like as far as the question I think that you had with Gwendolyn about marketing leads and funnels, we teach mostly a hub-based model. So for example, like if you're doing like that thing I was showing you, like a free workshop, like I did a bunch of free talks it was at a paid conference. I just tell them I don't want any money, right? Like I will never take money from like a speaking opportunity because I'm going to take the leads. I want the leads. I don't want the money because the money is a little bit. The leads are a lot. The leads are a lot. And I want to be able to just give generously, right? Like give freely, generously, just ask that people be able to contact me as part of the event. And then I'll promote their event. So that's an example of a free workshop. And we help you find like, where are the people that are looking for you already in a non-competitive environment. So for me to go to like an Ayurveda conference is really easy because most of the speakers there don't have the business model. So it's like most of the speakers there then are the best fit, but so are some of the members there. Another hub, this is what we call hubs, is like we want you to hub with non-competitive, right? So that's like you're not selling the same thing, you're not competing with each other, you're fitting a different need for the same avatar. Right? Like this, and that's what really differentiates. So for some of you, some of your hubs are local, some of them are regional, depending on how you're working. Like I work globally, so some of mine are national. So I was talking yesterday with the National Ayurvedic Medicine Association, right? They're a hub because they have all these practitioners, they have no business training. I get asked all the time, where should I get certified? What association should I be part of? So I can send them clients, they can send me clients. That's a hub. And we want that to work because when you meet with a hub, like from one conference, I'll usually get like 5 to 10 club sales. So I don't need a ton of hubs. And then you can back that up with your organic social media marketing and whatnot, which is called the messy middle, the emails and all that, where people like keep running into you again, saying the same damn thing again. And they're like, she's not going away with that. She's planted her flag in a truth. And that's what you're standing for. And that's how you appear on social. Does that clarify or?
Yeah, super interesting. I mean, that's the me more about like strategy and really aligning yourself with the people that you think are going to find value in your system.
Exactly. Yeah. And letting everyone else, like, for example, in Club Thrive, like I've been doing this for a long time and we are intergenerational, but like lately I've been getting a lot of grandmas, and it was really cool because at the Ayurveda conference I was at a couple of weeks ago, I met with someone who's like, she really needs a club that's like for the grandmas. It's like a shamanic club for the grandmas. And I was like, oh, I so need a referral because that's not my focus. And I really want to work with women with a lot of ambition. And that's really different than like the grandmas. Not that like, not all grandmas don't have a lot of ambition, but the ones that have ambition are a perfect fit for Club Hero. And the ones who like their ambition is just completely family generated. And I have so much respect for that. There's so much need for that in this culture. And we can help them in Club Thrive. But in general, they're not a good fit for my Club Hero members. And so I want a very potent, the community I'm generating, building in there in the future, it's just more and more ambitious women. Like that's it. They might be corporate, they might be an entrepreneur or an executive director. And like, that's it. They're not one of those three things, you know? And so that's how, as you cultivate a very strong club, you get really clear at who's not a fit. And then you refer them. So then, Gwen, for the hubs, it's like you get really clear of like, well, where are these women hanging out? Where is it completely non-competitive? So for example, on Tuesday, I'm going to Washington, DC, and I'm in this Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business program. And I am going there exclusively to meet hubs, women who own non-competitive businesses in my industry. This is the only reason I'm flying across the country. So I try to do an event every 6 weeks to get in the room with the right hubs. Because when I do, it just unlocks and then clients pour in and it's easy and done. And I don't have to do, I mean, we will do more meta ads in the future. We haven't run meta ads in about a year and a half. It's like, I get the value of it, but like an in-person or a hub lead is worth 10x of the other. So for me, if I go into more ads again, it's all just like to get in front of the people who have already seen me in the past. Retargeting. Yeah. All right. Any other pressing questions? Are you guys good enough? Good enough for now? And then I'll work with you one-on-one on the Launchpad if you're, for anyone who's serious about moving forward. I'm happy to really look at your growth opportunity for 2026.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the info for sure.
Yeah. Yay. Good to see you. Good to see you, Kelly, Naomi, and Sun Otter.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Toodaloo.